go. Okay.
All right, we are back. Episode 4 of the Weekly Pulse. Here we go. Can't believe it's already the 4th week we're doing this. So today we're going to do a cool talk discussion on the frustration zone of caloric intake is going to be our main topic that we discuss today. And before we get into all that, we need to get around the table and go through our wins of the week. So Josh, tell us what you got for this week.
Yeah, so I've actually got 2 things to share this week. So my first one kind of ties in to last week. So Tina and I got started with our speed training 2 weeks ago. So this was week 2. It was actually a kind of a major win for me because I overindulged in the alcoholic beverages on Friday night and could have very easily and had several thoughts about just, texting Tina and telling her I didn't feel quite right or whatever. But I showed up, we went through it, I ran fast, surprisingly, and made it through. So that was a win. And then my second win, I had taken kind of a hiatus from reading consistently, and I got a book and carved out 30 minutes 3 times last week and dug into a book. So that was my second win.
Hell yeah, good work on showing up when you're after a fun evening of cocktails. I've been there before, and I've had some of my best 5Ks, I think, under that condition. So don't be afraid of it. Jessica, what are your wins for the week?
Well, also with the running, I had a great run on Sunday. We did the Toulon's 5K, and I had a pretty good time. I placed, so I was proud about that one. I was in my head a little bit beforehand with the wind and stuff, so I didn't think I was going to do as well as I did. So I was proud about that. And then second was nutrition. My nutrition was on point again. I've been staying focused with my breakfast and my snacks being planned, so I don't come home from work ravenous and just diving headfirst into my pantry. And my protein has been on point too, so that's been another big win. So maybe 3 wins.
Awesome. What place did you get at 2 again? The run?
Second.
Ooh, were you close to first?
2 minutes off. I'm not a 22-minute runner anymore.
Well, then you did as good as you could do, and that person
did.
Good work.
Thanks.
Tina.
Okay, so Josh and Jessica, those are awesome wins. So I don't want to interrupt over our Zoom because I think it cuts us out, but love hearing those every week from you guys. So I have a few wins to share as well, which is awesome because this is getting a little bit easier to share. Josh and I, as he said, we did our second week of speed training. We are both feeling a little resistance to it. Wouldn't you say, Josh?
I would agree.
So we went out there, we both started with that, oh my gosh, what are we doing feeling? And we ended with that, hell yeah, we kicked ass feeling, and you can't beat it. Second thing that happened that was good this week I'm excited about is Jessica and I are doing the River to River Relay in April. And we picked our legs. So that's kind of exciting. I'm happy to have a focus for training. I know Jessica has her leg picked as well, and she's excited about it. So we both have our focuses there. And I actually received some feedback from a listener. That was, I don't know, it was an interesting feedback, but he asked me to share a win that I was nicer to him. It was from my husband. So I can't share it yet, honey, but if you're listening, I will be working towards sharing being nicer to you as one of my wins in the near future.
Aw.
He didn't word it that way. It was pretty funny the way he worded it, but it was some interesting feedback.
Do we need to have him on here with us?
I feel like at some point Bill should make an appearance on the show.
Yeah. We could just have all the spouses on here and not us and see what happens. No, that's probably not smart. Never mind. Take that back. Can we edit that out?
Well, Bill, you are going to be a lucky man if Tina decides to ever be nice to you.
Jeff, what were your wins?
My wins so far this week, I've done a great job bringing my lunch into the gym. Normally, I would at least one day a week probably go to like Subway and get a sandwich. And I've decided that's pretty unnecessary since we have plenty of food at home all the time. So 2 days this week, I've brought my lunch into the gym when I haven't had time to necessarily run home to eat lunch. So that's been good. Other wins this past week, we've had 2 awesome transformation stories that we've got to put out of people that have went through our 12-week transformations. So it's just really exciting to see everybody doing so well that's going through our program. And, you know, unfortunately it takes time. So, but seeing the payoff for these people that have been putting in the work for, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 months, and really seeing how their lives have changed over the last, half a year has been awesome. So those are my wins for the week. And let's get into our what's going on around town, local events. Let's first start off with Dr. Marcus, who came to our gym this past weekend, and he did a low back bulletproof your low back, and I thought it was fantastic. Tina, you were here. What were your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I thought it was an awesome presentation. We had a good turnout. Everybody participated, which was cool. So it was interactive. We all got to practice the stretches that he was prescribing, that him and Dr. Isaac went through a presentation on. I walked around and everybody got to try it out, see how it felt. So it was good that everyone had something to take home to work on and be able to share, with our clients and stuff too at the gym. So I thought it was awesome, and I'm looking forward to more presentations like that are interactive.
Yeah, we had close to 25 people, roughly, maybe not quite that, 24, something along those lines. I thought that everybody was able to take something away that they'll be able to use at home. And my favorite takeaway from the whole thing was when he said, it's not weird if everybody does it. So keep that in mind if you're ever trying to get people to participate in something. If you just say it's not weird if everybody does it, everybody will participate. And it wasn't weird.
I feel like that's like the opposite of something I would tell my child. The complete opposite.
Perhaps. Depends on what they're doing.
Yeah, I was just gonna say this totally depends on the situation. But in this case, it
And
was
your audience.
awesome. Yeah. This case, it was awesome that everybody got on the floor and got to do the stretches.
Right.
Yeah. In this case, it was perfect. Again, upcoming this upcoming weekend, we have our scavenger hunt. We went into detail about it last week, so we're just gonna, it's still not too late to sign up. If you're interested, get your team of 6 together and sign up today. I think, because we're a week off.
No,
We're getting used to it.
but
Am I
it's
a
still
week
not
off?
this week.
Oh,
You're a week
still
off.
not this week. I'm a week off. You still have 10 days to get registered.
Yes.
Or so. So there you go. Still learning how to do this.
Don't give specifics. It's March 23rd.
23rd. There we go. And May 4th is the hydrants, hoses,
and
heroes,
heroes.
5K.
5K.
At
May
Linden.
4th. Yep, May 4th, Lindendale Park. And I can't even believe we forgot to not mention this yet, but Pulse is doing the timing for the race. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeff, you look surprised.
I'm not surprised. I
he
scheduled.
knows.
Okay. Just making sure.
Yeah, I'm aware.
Okay.
All right. Not a whole lot else going on in March and April, locally anyways, in the health that I'm aware of. So again, if anybody hears of anything, please let us know so we can bring some awareness to that. So let's get into the topic of the day, which is kind of an interesting topic, but we discuss it with our clients pretty regularly, and I think most people are shocked by it. And, I mentioned it before, it's called the frustration zone. And kind of recently came up with this name due to lack of better terms, but this is really what happens. And I'm going to explain what happens in the frustration zone, how people get there. And it starts with, we help people with nutrition. And anytime people get started, the first things that they want to do are exercise more and eat less. You know, that's what you've always been told in life. You know, growing up, you want to lose weight. This is how you do it. Exercise more, eat less in its very simplest form. And we know that it's not that simple. If it was that simple, we would all be doing the thing. And what makes it so challenging is what we call the frustration zone. And Josh and Tina have some experience with this, along with numerous clients that I've worked with and suffer through it as well. And that is, generally speaking, for most women, when you're eating between 12 and 1600 calories. It's not an exact number. The scale slides for every single person, but that's a pretty safe zone to kind of think of. And within that range, most people are exercising. They've started eating healthier. They think they're doing all the right things, and essentially they are. The only thing they're not doing is eating enough. And that's the main reason that we really even ever have anybody track calories, is to make sure they're eating the right amount of food. Not that they're overeating, but making sure they're actually not under eating. Because when people are in that range, they tend to not lose any weight, or it goes up and down, up 2 pounds, down 2 pounds, up 2 pounds, down 2 pounds. And it's this, you know, over a long period of time, you've literally went nowhere. And that's what makes it so frustrating, is because you think you're doing all the right things. The one flaw is you're not eating enough of the healthy food. I hope I explained that fairly well. Josh, I know a long time ago when you first got started with me, this is something that you personally experienced. So if you don't mind, tell me about your personal experience with it.
No, absolutely. And I was actually, it was a long time ago, and I've been working for you for a little over 3 years at that point. It was 2016, is when I went through that. I was getting ready to run a marathon, and, I was, hitting the gym. I was running all the time. I was eating, healthy food. And I was tracking my calories. And that, just to show how the numbers can be a little bit different, my number was actually 2,000. I was eating 2,000 calories a day. And I just wanted to take off, 10, 15 pounds just to get a little leaner to run this marathon. And I remember charting like a whole month. I bring it into you and you look at it for about 2 minutes and you're like, yeah, you're not eating enough. And that was my first eye opener of like, are you kidding me? I'm eating all the time. I'm doing this. Like I'm exercising. I should be losing weight. So we talked real quickly about how to add 200 calories to what I was doing. And in 3 weeks, I took off 10 pounds. I mean, it just like that, I upped my calories, didn't change my workout routine, just up 200 calories from what I was doing. And that was kind of my first eye opener to like, this eating more is a real thing, and giving your body what it needs.
Yeah, and like I said, that's what's so frustrating is nobody's talking about it. It seems like I never see an article or anything saying, hey, eat more to lose more weight. It's, most people struggle a little bit psychologically with that because it's against a lot of what they've ever heard. So, like I said, I hope anybody that's listening, if you have any questions about this, absolutely reach out to any of us. We'll happily, answer any questions that you have or concerns with that, and maybe help overcome some fear of maybe you do need to eat more healthy food. Tina, you've had some personal experience with this as well.
Absolutely. I have a lot of experience with this. And, just like if you guys have been listening since the beginning, which I know we're only on episode 4, but you know that before I started working for Pulse, I was a client of Pulse, and Jeff was there for my journey, because when I started with him, I was really in a bad place with food and lots of things. But one of the things that I was working on was nutrition as well. And like Josh said, what most of us want to do is, I wanted to move more. I wanted to eat healthier. But what I missed on the healthy part is that I was using healthy food and saying it was healthy, but what I was really doing was restricting. I was eating very healthy foods in very low calorie amounts, forgetting that, I wasn't learning anything. I was just trying my darndest to get that next pound off.
Mm-hmm.
And like Jeff said, the frustration definitely sets in. Around me at that time, just to bring you back to the time period, that's when this HCG drops were like this big fad. And I would go into the gym, and Jeff might not remember, but I do. I was just like, people around me are dropping weight. They're dropping weight. He's like, Tina, they're only eating 500, 800 calories. He's like, that's not going to work long term. And over time, and as you know, anybody who knows me knows about my journey, which I guess we should probably even be sharing more about that at some point in an upcoming. But it took me a long time to figure this out. But luckily, when I did and it clicked, and I learned that I could eat lots of healthy food and still enjoy other things without being restricted, that's when the magic happened for me. That's when I found my balance. And so, my advice to anybody who has a large amount of weight to lose, or a small amount, whatever it is. But for me at that time, it was a large amount of weight that I was looking up against to try to lose, is to start slow, don't restrict, and find balance. And like Jeff said, if you need help doing that, that's what we do. That's what we can help you with.
Yeah, holy shit. HCG, I totally forgot about that ever being a thing. Thankfully, it was a flash in the pan for the most part, but it was a real thing where people were only eating like 500, 600, 700 calories, like not even a safe amount to do any form of exercise on while eating on that. Yeah, crap, that's probably been 10 years.
It's been a long time. Yes, it's been about 10 years.
12 years. Yeah. But again, and I can still remember times of, forcing that, like, you got to eat more food. Like, this isn't going to work with, only 12, 1300 calories for an active person does not work. I've just seen it. I've seen people struggle and get frustrated time and time again because they hear that it works, and it does work for the right person, the person who's sitting at their couch. Heck, right now, the people that don't have to leave their house for the entire day. If you're very sedentary, 1200 calories, probably a good number for you. But if you're trying to be active and you're going to be involved in any kind of exercise program at all, 12, 13, 1400 calories just isn't going to cut it for more than likely. Not going to get safe for everybody because everybody is different. But the struggle and frustration is definitely real on that side of things. That's kind of, the gist. That I don't want to get any farther because, like, calories, we could go a million different directions as far as that goes. And again, for us, that is the number one reason that we track calories. Have anybody track calories is not to make sure that they don't overeat. It's to make sure that they're not under eating. And Josh, you wanted to kind of add a little bit about that from what you've just seen recently.
Yeah. So one of the very first things when I sit down to talk nutrition with clients is I'll have them kind of track food for just 3 days, just to kind of get this, broad picture of what's going on. And for, like you said, it's not to see that they overeat. It's mostly for two reasons. And like 6 times in the last just couple weeks, I've found people are, way under eating. And, will, just like what happened in my personal story, will add a couple hundred calories. And then within, couple, 2-3 weeks, they come back and, oh, I was down a couple pounds just by adding these calories. So it's just more validation to, this is a real thing. And the numbers all fluctuate, not everybody's numbers are the same, like you said, but just more validation. And, it's a real thing.
Yeah. Like you said, I wish there was more awareness and a little bit more just straight science to it, that we could get very specific about it. But, this is just what we've seen what I've seen for sure over the last 15 years. I've worked with a lot of people that have struggled with this, and it's amazing once you see them build that confidence, because the exciting thing is you get to eat more food, which we should all be super pumped about if it's healthy, because the reality is 1,800 to 2,000 calories of healthy stuff is a mountain of food. It is literally a lot of food, and people struggle like, I'm so full, because it is a large quantity of food when you're doing it in a healthy fashion. So it does have to be healthy food. So do not think we just have to add McDonald's or any fast food to our diet to make up for that. Jessica, I know you don't really have any personal experience with it, but you have any thoughts, or just, kind of, it's relatively new to you as far as that side of things go?
Well, I think first of all, I love hearing personal stories because I think that's when people are going to connect. So Josh and Tina sharing those stories is really good because then it helps people, it puts it out there that it is real, that you're not just saying it just to say it. But I think that the word frustration, it's a bubble word. And then there's so many other words inside of it, when you feel stuck and confused because of what you brought up, Tina, when with the drops and all the other million fad things that are out there. And all it does is send us mixed messages. And it actually has us afraid of the word calorie. Like we actually think calorie and we get scared. We're like it's a bad word instead of looking at it as a measurement of fuel, that we're actually energizing ourselves with calories. So it's just, it stinks that so many fad diets have ruined that for us. But again, like Jeff said, that's why we're all here. We're here to help everyone. So I hope that anyone who watches this video reaches out and asks questions so that we can help, because that is the whole point of why we're doing this and why we're talking about it.
Yeah. So like I said, I know you guys are out there. If you're listening, I know somebody out there that's listening is struggling with this and has went through this and said, fuck it, because they can't figure out why they're not losing the weight. And then threw in the towel and went right back to doing what they're doing. So if you're one of those people that have thrown in the towel, absolutely reach out to us and we would love to help you. So, and that's really all I've got for this topic. I hope everybody finds some value in it, and we will see you all next week.